All right, thanks, Aaron. When former Wings great Bob Probert unexpectedly passed away on July 5th at the age of 45, he was working on a memoir about his life. Really a first-hand account of his adrenaline-fueled life, both on and off the ice. Well, this incredible book is done, and joining us live in the studio is Bob's wife, Dani Probert, and former Red Wings coach Dave Lewis to talk about this project, which meant so much to Bob. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join us early on this day. First and foremost, obviously, we're talking about a tragic event that happened, but it was something Bob was doing. First of all, how are you doing with everything?
Doing okay.
Just getting by, I guess, right? Because this was such a tragic occurrence. When Bob decided to do this, what was his whole reasoning behind telling everybody about his life, both on and off the ice?
It was something he always wanted to do. Things that would happen, that was one for the books, he would always say. And he met Kirsty McClellan-Day, the co-author and author of Theo Fleury's book as well. Theo introduced them, and that was perfect timing. He wanted to get going.
Both of you two obviously knew Bob very well. You also played with Bob for a season or two. What do you think that people are going to learn the most about Bob from this book in regards to what he was wanting them to learn?
Well, I think people should read it and know how great a guy Bob Probert was. He would do anything for anybody. I don't think he had an enemy, maybe an enemy on ice when there was a battle.
Of course.
But I think after that, not so much. He was kind. He was, you know, like a big teddy bear. He enjoyed life. He enjoyed hockey. He had a different slant on life at times, but he was a great teammate. He was a fun guy to coach. He played with some great hockey players. He played with passion, I think, every night. He was one of those guys that wasn't afraid, no fear at all. What a great guy to line up with or sit beside. I can remember one quick story. Sean Burr would say, no, you don't fight me, you fight Bob Probert, so I'm not going to get involved. In
Exactly. And looking at the book just a little bit, one thing that stood out to me was the softer side of Bob Probert home. This is a side that you knew better than anybody, Dani. What can you tell people about Bob and what they'll get out of the book and learning about some of those stories?
He had a great sense of humor. I think they'll see that. I think they'll probably see that he was a smart guy, and he had a big heart.
You're in the forward. So is Steve Yzerman. Talk about what a special thing that was for Bob, and obviously for Steve getting a chance to write the forward for this.
Well, I mean, Bob would have been thrilled. He didn't know that was basically.
So he had no idea that had occurred, that Steve was doing this.
No.
So what about from Steve's perspective?
Well, Steve's a good guy, and he was honored to do it. He always has stepped up for Bob, so it's been wonderful.
What are your guys' expectations? What are you really hoping for in this book?
I just want people to see my Bob. You know, those are his words. I want them to read it and just take away that he was human. He made mistakes and didn't blame anybody else for his mistakes.
But we're also talking about a guy that is so beloved here in the Detroit area. Mm-hmm. And you're still hearing that, though, everywhere you go, though, aren't you?
I am. I just heard at the border when I crossed over with the customs officer. He was wonderful. Yeah, I've been hearing wonderful things. People have been sharing wonderful stories, and it's great for the kids and I to hear.
Dani, we appreciate your time. Dave, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate that, and obviously we wish you the best with the book. And really encourage everybody to take a look at this. Obviously, if you're a Wings fan, if you're a Bob Probert fan, you are not going to be disappointed. Dani Probert. And is Darren going to be able to make the book signing with you tonight, Darren McCarty? Yes. Darren McCarty also tonight. Their first book signing at the Borders located in Woodward in Birmingham. The event is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. We'll be right back with more Action News this morning.